Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. For those of you who have never seen it, welcome. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. So today is going to be another special one. I know I keep saying special one, so when they're all special, then none of them are. But I don't have all of them as special. So this is a good one because of situations that were beyond my control this week. I was not able to walk as much. I do have last week. So we have 141 weeks, 141 and 142. And for 142, because I couldn't get out as much as I wanted, I went and did an extra long walk with my walking partner. And we did, depending on which way you read it, depending on one app or the other. One app says 3.4, the other one says 3.08. So I'm not sure which one to believe. The one that was 3.4 is GPS, so that one should be more accurate, but I don't know. So anyway, it was an over 3 mile walk. So you'll get to see the highlights of that in Trash in the Hood, and you'll also get to see some of that in this week's Zen Moment. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get going into our Trash in the Hood. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood, weeks 141 and 142. Hey everybody, here we come into week 141, and this is day 2. So interesting thing on day 2s and day 3s, normally I find some really weird stuff. So underneath everything was a mulch bag, stuffed snake over there to the left of the end of the mulch bag, then a lot of bits of paper and plastic and whatnot, and a couple of plastic bags and some soda cans and a bunch of receipts and that sort of thing, plus an old school Lucky Strikes cigarette box and about 20 or so cigarette butts, and then a big giant spring. So this is me out searching for trash, and I just happened to be out by the park that's right here off of El Salito Parkway and right across from the elementary school. And so we just wanted to stop real quick and show that we are in efforts of picking up trash and walking. So here we come for the trash for that day. This was 141 day 4. And so you see there's a dog bowl, there's a part of a chancla, a football, another shoe, a bunch of water bottles, not a lot of cigarette butts. We were very surprised about that, but there was a vape pen and an old school lighter, and then large pieces of what looked like wadding or padding of some sort that had just been trashed on there, and then like a Kong ball as well. So it was really weird. So this takes us into week 142. This was just yesterday on Saturday. This is the route that we took. It actually starts from walking partner Julia Takashida's house on Main Street in downtown Cedar Park. So up Main Street and then across and then to 183A, up 183 until we got to Whitestone, then Whitestone to Discovery, and then you wind up hitting Main Street again. So we found a lot of stuff here. I know it doesn't look as much, but there was some heavy stuff. There was a disc brake, parts of tools, construction or a mechanic's rag, construction street reflectors, lots of soda cans and beer cans and cardboard and various things, because we were going by, at one point, I believe we went by 2 different construction sites. So there was a lot of stuff, and it looked like no one had ever picked up anything along these roads before, because we were finding a ton of cigarette butts. I think this is a 2025 record. You see there at the right, there's 126 cigarette butts, and I'm sure there were more that got mixed in with the other trash. But we did get some money for our efforts, so we did find a dime, and so that breaks it up to a nickel for both of us. So it was a win-win all the way around on week 142. Okay, so there you have it, weeks 141, 142. So if you noticed on this episode and last episode, I had a couple of longer walks, or was it 2 episodes ago? Anyway, if you notice that lately I've had a couple of long walks, and so what I've been trying to do is increase my walking distance so that I can try to remain healthy or just get healthier. But I have also had situations beyond my control where I wasn't able to walk as much. So I did have 1 or 2 days where I am walking is pretty far. So the walk that I showed on one of the previous episodes where we went to 85 Degree Bakery was approximately 3.1 miles. So that was officially a 5K. And we didn't pick up any trash on that day because we wanted to see how we would feel while doing it. So we walked, and it was a little bit less than an hour, I believe I talked about. And this one was about an hour and a half, for depending on which app you looked at, was either close to the same or about a quarter mile beyond it. So we both felt pretty good. It took us an hour and a half. James Takashita was joining us on his giant beach tricycle that he has rigged out to the extreme, but he joined us at the end there. And so we did get some good distance in, and we were both happy about it. We felt good. Of course, we were tired, and I did have some difficulties. I'm still having an issue with my knee. And for everyone's enjoyment, there's not much in there in that knee now, in that left knee that I had. I had surgery on it when I was 15 years old. They told me I would have really bad arthritis by the time I got to my 40s, which I did, but they didn't say that it was going to get even worse in my 50s, which it seems to be. So I'll keep you apprised. Right now, it's feeling pretty good today. It's been a couple of weeks since I did something to injure it, and I'm hoping that I can rehab it myself. I'm getting an additional knee brace and everything. So if you know some people that know how to rehab it without having to go to a doctor and without surgery, then please drop me a line here, or send me a note, or send me a link. Okay, so enough of the sob story of me. Let's go into our Zen moment. So I'm gonna show you the highlights of the path, or the route that we went on yesterday to pick up trash and bits of stuff like that. And then I'm gonna put it to some nice, calming, peaceful music. So here is our Zen moment for the episode. And there you have it, everybody. Your Zen Moment, The Long Road by Jay Anderson. So, you may have seen, hopefully you saw, because you've been watching it. There was a shot there with the black arrow pointing to a piece of garbage. It turns out it is a piece of a car. So obviously there was an accident, or somebody lost some of their undercarriage on one of their car. It was a hard piece of plastic, but it was about the size of my table, so probably about 4 foot across by 3 foot wide, and was just something that I was unable to be able to take with me. So I've been asked that before, and we try our best. I have that large yellow bag now that is reinforced and is meant to be for trash, that I've used in the past, and I'm dragging it too much, and so it's beginning to have a hole at the bottom that I'm gonna have to tape shut. But anyway, the we try our best to cram everything into that bag that we can. I have picked up large pieces of pipe, mop handles, broom handles, and luckily we were on our way back, so the return route. So I picked them up and walked with them to get them to my recycle and trash bins here. So unfortunately, we do not have the ability to pick up some of the larger stuff that we've seen in the past. Some things like that piece of garbage, piece of car, I should say, that is now garbage. That was on the side of the highway on 183. Don't worry. We were walking on the sidewalk adjacent or parallel to 183A, so we weren't just walking along the side of the road. We were a good distance between the sidewalk we were on and 183A itself. But there was a big chunk of that car and some pieces of other car that were just too big to carry. You didn't see in the trash photo, but there was like I said, a couple of pieces of tools, a couple of disc brakes, pads, and one, I think, drum rotor itself. So that bag itself was probably about 40 pounds by the time we got done. So that's the other limiting factor, is that sometimes some of the things that we find are just so heavy. Sometimes I'm not able to pick it up. If I remember, which I usually do, I will drive back and pick up some of those things. I didn't do it yesterday because trying to stop on the highway like that is detrimental, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to risk my health or my safety, or anybody else's for that matter, to pick up trash. Everybody should be doing their own. That trash should have been picked up if that was an accident that was reported. Now, if somebody just pulled over to the side of the road and tore it off to make sure that they didn't get into an accident, they should have put that in their trunk. Shame on them, for whoever they are. Anyway, so that's where we are. That's what we do. We will pick up trash. We'll do our best to pick up stuff. Also, large pieces of glass. There was an accident up on El Salito that the entire windshield was broken, and so whoever in their right mind pulled off the windshield itself and just threw it to the side along the cement wall barrier that is there on El Salito Parkway. So I waited until it was long enough that I was then able to pick up smaller pieces of it after I went walking. When I was walking, I don't want to put that in the bag because, one, it's going to tear the bag, and two, it may tear me up as it breaks through the bag as I'm walking, because that bag does bounce against my legs when I walk. So just doing our best. I did see some people out there this weekend for Earth Day, which occurred 4/22, I believe is the Earth Day celebration date. There was a couple of Boy Scout groups out there over by the pond in Cedar Park, where we went close to, and we saw them picking up trash like directly around the lake or the pond itself, like from the water itself. We didn't go that close to the water. We were just along the walk, but there was plenty of of things for us to pick up. So, okay, so that was the special of the Zen Moment that showed some of the highlights of the route that I took. So now we're going to go into talk a little bit about gardening. So for those of you that are really interested in gardening, welcome to this part of the show. For those of you who aren't, Spirit Times does come in about probably 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes after this next section. So here we go. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. So here's the blueberry bush, one of the blueberry bushes that I have. The other one seems almost like it's dead. I can't seem to figure out why I can't get it to grow in that circle in my front yard. But this is in a pot also in my front yard. Now, blueberries I don't try to grow from seed. I do pick them up from the local hardware store, rhymes with crows. And so here's the very first blueberry I ever got from growing it from a bush. I've tried for a couple different seasons now, and the blueberries always wind up dying, or the bushes wind up dying, or not just taking root. But this one seems to be doing okay. So I had one that I also posted on Instagram about, and it was very delicious. Now, yesterday at the end of the day, I was out watering the gardens, and I came across this little guy, or two little guys, that looked like they're almost ready to be. Actually, the one on the left was picked, center left. I did pick that one, washed it, ate that one too, and it was fantastic. Now, the one on the right might be ready today, might be ready tomorrow or the next couple of days. I'm going to go out there and check the humidity of the soil and see if I need to water and see if that berry is ready to go. So in my front yard, I have two really big rose bushes that I've just been letting grow wild. I do trim them down every now and then because I was told to, but anyway, they grow wild, and I believe these are called knockout roses, but I'm not sure. So if somebody knows, please let me know so I can let the population know. And then going into that, I planted a lot of stuff this season, a lot of stuff. But I noticed last season that stuff was growing that I hadn't planted. So, or I had it planted in many seasons, and in those seasons I wasn't able to get them to grow. So, if anybody knows what these are, please let me know. And also these. So, like I said, I planted so much. I have an inkling of what they may be, but if you know for certain what they are, please just drop me a line or a message or a text or any other way you know how to get a hold of me, so that I can at least have an idea of how I'm going to start pruning these and what I should be looking for to harvest them. And here's another bunch. So it looks very wet because I just got done watering, but I wanted to take a photo of it to see. And now I'm going to try to drop these into Google Images, and actually I have before, and I get mixed results, as in a lot of different stuff that it could be. None of it I ever planted. So let's see what happens. Okay, so there you have the gardening piece of it. So for those of you, again, those of you who have not seen my show before, I kind of go all over the place before we hit spirit time. But I wanted to throw those out there, show that I am actually gardening and getting something out of my gardens. Now, what they are, I don't know. As I just mentioned, I planted a lot of stuff over the years. So maybe I planted too much. Maybe I just didn't. There's stuff that grow. I got Thai chilies last year, and I never planted Thai chilies. I'm thinking that may be from birds or squirrels, probably most likely from birds, but I don't know. So I had someone in the know tell me that they look. Some of those leaves that I just showed, were squash, which maybe that can happen because I planted a lot of melons before, and it has been known in the past for seed catalog companies to sometimes get the seeds mixed. Maybe they're putting it into containers, and some of them are still stuck in the previous, thing or whatever, yada yada. So, not sure. I've been told by two people actually that they could be squash. Never planted squash in any of my garden beds, so I'm not sure. I have one garden bed that I kind of feel like is the garden bed of death. It's the only one that seems to. It grew loofah, and it's the only thing that's grown loofah in there, in that garden bed, and it's the only thing that's grown in there since. So I'm not sure. Maybe the pH is off. I got to double check that. But there could be many reasons why that garden bed isn't growing. I may eventually have to take out most of the soil and then plant it with fresh soil and see if that's going to do anything. but we'll see as the weeks come along. I'm really hoping that I get something in there. So now some of the things that I've grown in the past: the Thai chilies that randomly showed up in my garden bed, corn, kuka melons, also known as Mexican sour gherkins, loofah, corn, golden beets, regular beets. Um, and those are the ones that were successful. Now, things I planted this season. Oh, and plenty of watermelons, different color watermelons. Outside looks the same, inside the flesh is different color. I've done red, yellow, and purple. So this season, what I've planted: green kiwi, dwarf fruit trees, um, regular tomato or heirloom tomatoes, and black Russian tomatoes. Also planted some, oh, were they different types of fruit as well? I can't remember what they are. That's so much I planted. So what my hit or miss method, which is a method of madness, I try to put as many stuff out there, whatever takes hold, and I continue to just try to do my best. So if it takes hold and grows, then I go with it. Happened with the loofah. I was on a wild whim. I saw something on YouTube about how loofah grows well in this part of Texas, and it does. And I grew very well, and I got 12 to 18 loofah. Nobody wanted it, so I haven't grown it since. I still have the loofah here, and loofah just gets better the more it dries out. So they're still good, but nobody wants them. So I decided not to grow loofah again, unless I can get somebody interested in growing loofah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So now let's go into, without further ado, let's go ahead and go into our spirit times. Hey everybody, so I usually keep my glasses on so I can read, or I try to keep my glasses on so I can try to read the bottle first. This is a small bottle. This is actually, it would be like what we would normally call champagne, but it's not from the Champagne part of France, so we don't call it champagne. This is just called a brut. This is Cava Rondelle. So there you have it, the Rondelle. And to give it a good thing, you can see how tiny this is compared to my face. So I'm going to go ahead and get this open if I can. Yep, there we go. And pop the cork, so to speak. If I can. There we go. And try it out. Now, some of you may be saying, hey, that's pretty old. But to be honest, a lot of this stuff you can drink, you know, after a certain amount of time, even though they may not recommend it. This was bought around New Year's, so we're gonna give it a shot. This is actually just not a cork. This is just a twist off, thank goodness, so you don't have the loud popping. So now I can take the glasses off. By the way, they've been around, Cava Rondelle, it says been around since 1949. So we're going to have a little champagne and celebrate early. The upcoming, in a couple of episodes, we'll have Javier in the Air, episode 200. That's right, 200 episodes that I've been doing this show. 6 seasons. Had a lot of fun, had a lot of people on there. I'm hoping I can get more. I'm hoping that I can get famous. I hope for a lot of things. So as you can see, oh, by the way, one of the mini glasses that I do not have is champagne flute, or one that I couldn't find in the past 5 minutes. So, but here's our bubbly. It is bubbling. It is our sparkling wine. Let's try it out. It's definitely a brut. If you've had brut champagnes before, I'm sorry, sparkling wines before, it's definitely good. I prefer this, any sparkling wine, also champagnes with a strawberry. So let me see. Do I have one? I have one, but we don't need to do it for the show. Um, but here we go. It's not bad. It's definitely bubbly. It's effervescent, if you want to call it that thing. As well, it is a little bit more on the harsher side as opposed to other types of champagnes or sparkling wines. It still goes down well. Um, you can let it sit for a while, but I don't know why you would. It's champagne or sparkling wine, so you really want to just, you're here to celebrate something, so you should be drinking it, not quaffing it quite, but you should be drinking it enough so that you can enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and give this 6 thumbs up. So that's a reminder, 6 thumbs out of 10 thumbs up. And it's quite good. I do like it. I would recommend it probably having with a strawberry like I recommended or I talked about. If you've never had it with a piece of fruit before, you can also try it with the pineapple, but I think the pineapples are just a little bit too sweet naturally to go well with with a sparkling wine. So you might want to stick to something like a strawberry. So, but it's really good. Goes well with any celebration, any holiday celebration, any personal celebration, any celebration in general. So if you have an opportunity to celebrate something, grab yourself some of this brut and enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. So there you have it, everyone. Sparkling wine. Thanks a lot. Oh, hey, everybody. I couldn't help myself. I had to get the strawberry. Perfect combination. I usually dip mine in the champagne, sparkling wine, for more than a couple of seconds so that it saturates that strawberry. So good, everybody. I'm going to put that down for now. Let that last part of the strawberry soak in there so I can say my goodbyes. So that's it for the show today, this week, or these weeks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop me a line or a comment. You can comment on my show, Javier In The Air. That's Javier In The Air. Most of them have this ugly mug, as opposed to Javier On The Air, which is somebody different. I don't even know if they're still doing their show. And there is another Javier In The Air, but if it doesn't have this face, more than likely it's not this show. So regardless, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you will come back. Please tell your friends. Subscribe if you really like. This is a free show still, so just do it out of the love of doing this. Got a little bit of narcissism there, but so what? Okay, so I'm always looking for more things to put on my show. So if you have something you'd like to talk about, if you have a mom and pop business that you'd like to show off in the Cedar Park, Austin area, or close enough that I can get there, I'll put you on the show. If you are really far away, just let me know. We can do a Zoom call or something along those lines that we can get you on the show and talk about your business. If you have something you're passionate about, we can do that as well. If you'd like to be on the show as a co-host, I can set up my studio here so that we can certainly have you and I and whoever else doing it, so that we can have a round robin discussion about anything but the two that I always say are not allowed on my show. So that's it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Try to stay cool. It's actually overcast today, but says 2% chance of rain. But so I'm not sure if that's going to be accurate or not. It did drizzle a bit last night when it said there was 1%. So let's see what happens. All right, enjoy the rest of your week and the following week, and I will see you all again in 2 weeks. Thanks a lot, everybody.